Today we're going to be talking about the rise and fall of Matt Rife, how he went from this to this.
Matt Rife is not funny and solely got famous recently because he's good looking.
Babe, I heard that joke on the back of the bus on the way home from a field trip in the 7th grade.
We will also be answering the questions: did Matt Rife have plastic surgery? Do you need to be attractive in order to be successful in life? And is being attractive enough to get away with anything? My name is JC DeCalis. I'm a private image consultant. Let's begin. So you may know Matt Rife from Wildin' Out. You probably have seen him on there. He was there for about 2 years. He did a lot of stand-up. And he didn't really have that much success afterwards, and it was only until one of his friends told him to, hey, you should really post on TikTok, and then from there he got 18.2 million TikTok followers, 6.4 million Instagram followers, and 1.8 YouTube followers. And his whole career just kind of took off after that. So no hate on his success, but he's not that strong at stand-up at all. I think he got a lot of his improv skills when he is interacting with the audience. I think a lot of it came from Wildin' Out. Wildin' Out, if you already know, Wildin' Out is all about improv, and so he's very, very good at that. But when it comes to stand-up, very weak. It's not really that many jokes involved. If you ever seen any of his work at all, it's just not that great. So what are the two things that led to his downfall? It is podcasts and talking about being attractive. So podcasts, I think a lot of you guys need to not have podcasts in general. The reason why is because you're giving away too much of your personal information, especially if you are an artist. You should be curating everything that you have. And I think people in general overshare way, way, way too much. And I think that's kind of like what happened with him. However, I will say him talking about being attractive is also not attractive. That's kind of like the number one rule. If you are a person that is extremely attractive, you never talk about being attractive. Imagine Brad Pitt saying, oh man, the reason why I sold those movie tickets is because I look so good. You know, Brad Pitt would never say something like that. So the question is, did Matt Rife get plastic surgery? Now, this is what he looked like before his glow up. On the right side, he is on Wildin' Out about 22, and somewhere between 22 and 28, he turned into this. Now, one possibility is maybe he did mature. Also, it could be jaw implants or filler. This is an example of a jaw implant. You can customize it the way that you like. And not only that, you can do that with filler, but not as much with filler. But these are two options that you can definitely see have dramatic impacts on the way that you look. And there's nothing wrong with getting work done. I personally had a underbite surgery and a genioplasty where they broke my chin and moved it forward, and a rhinoplasty. And I've never looked back. It looks natural. Nobody knows I got it done unless I tell them. And I think a lot of guys are more open to that. And so he already had veneers. He already said that he had veneers, so that is a possibility. And there are some photos that are questionable of Matt Rife's face that kind of maybe allude to maybe it being filler. But what do you guys think? Do you think Matt Rife had any kind of plastic surgery? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm sure you guys are wondering, is being attractive enough to get away with anything? If you know the story of Jeremy Meeks was a felon, and he was arrested, and all of a sudden he got a modeling contract and he had a child with a billionaire heiress. And so with all those things that happened with him, he didn't really do that many interviews, so you don't really get to know him, but he remains a fantasy because you don't know him. But you do know a lot more of Matt because he talks a lot. He talks a lot on podcasts, so you get to know him a little bit more, and you slowly realize that this guy is a little bit narcissistic. This guy is a little bit too much into himself. And that kind of like slowly destroys the fantasy of whatever women have created in their head, because when you have other traits, remember, attraction is evaluated not just by physical looks, it's also evaluated by personality and lifestyle that you bring to the table and your voice. So when you start really having negative traits in other aspects, not just the physical aspect, because he has the physical aspect down packed, but if you have very, very negative personality, that can negate other factors. That is the reason why it's important for a lot of you guys, especially you guys that are into looks maxing, to evaluate all the other aspects and improve them as well. Because if you don't, you're going to have a very, very hard time having long-term relationships. And I would say that you guys just have to be very, very careful when it comes to that, because there is a breaking point. And lastly, do you need to be attractive in order to succeed in life? No, you don't. However, it definitely does help, meaning that your life will be a little bit easier to get to the finish line if you do look a lot better, but it's not the end all be all. There are plenty of people that are average looking that really do get a lot of success. But the thing about it is, it's kind of like, think of it like a bank, meaning that everyone starts when they're born, and some people start with $1,000 in their bank account, and some people start at zero, and then some people start negative. All of you guys have equal opportunity in order to get to where you need to be, but some people, if you have $1,000 in your bank account, you're more likely to have success. You are more likely to know how to find ways to make more money. Now, you can definitely squander that $1,000 and then go right back down to zero. And how do you do that in real life? So a person could just sit on their laurels and really not do anything with their looks at all, don't really become anything. And that's kind of like the whole pretty boy trap that happens for a lot of people, especially really attractive people. It's I call it the pretty boy trap, where you end up not being motivated to do anything, where you don't end up having a career because you just think it's always going to be there. And then usually those guys end up having like midlife crisis around like 35 to 38. I believe your half life as a male is around 38, and it's a little bit higher for women. Will Matt Rife recover from this? I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will definitely bounce back from this. However, you only get but so many chances. So just remember, if he continues the path that he's doing and he doesn't ever change his ways, it is a shelf life that is determined by when he stops looking attractive, meaning when he starts looking a lot older, he's not going to get away with any of these things. So I really hope he focuses on his talent and really exceeds in that, so that he doesn't have a shelf life that is determined by his age. If you're new here, go to my profile and check out my other videos on attraction. And also you can reach out to me privately on IG DMs if you want me to work with you one-on-one. See you guys.